All right, Seawood. So you're talking about the process. So you're right, um, as per usual, that sometimes I follow the process, or just kind of like half-ass follow the process. So I have it written out now. Certainly, it was written out earlier, but definitely like step by step. And this is just how I'm gonna approach the market. So that's, as you said, like that's what I can fucking fall back and lean on. So the SPY is the ETF for the S&P 500. On the longer term daily chart, the 1 year chart, we are in an uptrend as demonstrated by higher highs and higher lows. We come down to the 3 month chart. So intermediately, we had an exhaustion gap at all time, potential exhaustion gap at all-time high, swing down potential lower high and change of character through the midline and also prior support level to the other side of Keltner, and now we're retesting that prior support, so potentially that's becoming resistance, which would be constructive for the recent downtrend. So longer term picture is up, intermediate picture is murky at best. The top two pre-market movers, HTGM. So coming on 1 year, the HTGM is healthcare, right? And that is a diagnostics research company. So coming off a 1 year base, gapped up. So volume came in on the 23rd day, which is like right below the 52-week highs. So we're trading 52-week highs. On the short term, you had this wide range bar that closed, down about in the middle. So maybe some weakness there. Piece of evidence number one. So, and then maybe had some continuation after we opened up from the next day. So we gapped down in pre-market. So just to come in and talk about the pre-market. So we gap, gap way down, from the prior day's close. So that's good 15% gap. So we gapped way down. This was definitely like a change of character move in pre-market. What I noticed was that we just kind of like oscillated around this pre-market price like after the open as well. So it's kind of going in this range, and this range started to tighten up towards the end. So maybe one could have taken the paid this breakout here of this range, or even has said shorting in anticipation, as you said, of the breakout of the low of days, or making lower highs into that pre-market support level. So maybe you could have been shorting in anticipation of that, but one of the pre-market movers. So the other pre-market mover was Kara. It's coming to the 1 year chart. Been in basing action for about 6 months. Been in an uptrend as demonstrated by higher highs and higher lows. Gapped up to 52-week highs after a pronounced uptrend. So thinking potential maybe exhaustion gap. So we come into the pre-market. So this is daily, short term, still maybe call this more like sideways action, because we haven't we're still technically making higher highs and higher lows. So uptrend still intact. So yeah, gap to pre-market. So where do we open? We opened way up from the prior day's close. So if you're looking at the pre-market data, you can see that we started trading really high in pre-market, making lower highs into this pre-market low, and then right on the open, change of character through that pre-market support. So prior support becomes resistance. Could have been an entry, just right off the open there. So trade off the open, maybe getting in somewhere in here, risking 40 cents to make, $1.40. So it's 3-1, but it's like a quick trade off the open. And once again, that would be a counter trend setup. So it'd be a counter trend trade. Quick trade off the open. All right, moving on. So Kara also biotech. You know what I mean? So if I didn't say, I'm pretty sure I said that. If I didn't say that, then I fucked up. Moving on to what I traded today. So Alf is biotech, right? Coming off 1 year sideways base. Volume came in on this, March 2nd day. Broke out to new highs. So big picture. Intermediately, we had this wider range bar. and then went sideways, tried to break out, but immediately came back down. It's kind of been going in this range for the past 10 trading days, and talk about obvious support levels. So I was talking about yesterday, was this like obvious support level. So let me get rid of this line. This definitely call that like an 8 or a 9 even, support level. So making lower highs into the level. So the idea that I was looking for was that we wanted to break through this level on volume. So coming into the 4-minute. So what happened? We opened lower, right? So what do we like on an open lower? The first test up, which we got right into the prior close, right into that level, immediately rejected down. So at that point, we had gotten our open lower test up, came back down through the open. So as we tested back up to the open and started trading lower, I got short with my stop, just under the high of day. So I could still risk, my max size with a trade position where I was absolutely wrong. We've got the big picture idea is that we're breaking a major support level. That prior support level had become resistance. So maybe call this like a little pullback, a little flag. I guess I'm struggling to verbalize how to classify this, but just lower high, and just anticipating the move lower after. So the big idea is prior support became resistance, and then I guess they call this entry a flag. Yeah, so that was ALF. Did end up getting stopped out, so I just moved my stop down to here because I knew this prior support was coming down, but I just set my stop here, and after we had this move down and pop back up, and so I ended up getting stopped out over here. Maybe there was a way, could have called this an intraday trend change, so maybe I could have, saved a couple pennies over here, maybe like 10 cents, but, I was holding this for a wide range day. I mean, the setup was definitely there. So, also, the other stock I traded today was ESPR. So ESPR is a biotech, going sideways base. Volume came in, breakout, trading up to 52-week highs until we got this gap up to all-time high. So that's the longer term picture. Still in an uptrend. Intermediately we had this widest range bar on the highest volume, 252-week highs, and the following day we gapped up and then traded back down below that high. They've been going sideways ever since. Kind of looking in, there was this over-under level, this over-under level here. It's easier to see in the 15 minutes. So 1, 2, 3. And so the idea here was that we had tested this level once, twice, and then respected it again on the open today. So I was looking to be short, after a failure test or this prior support becoming resistance, in anticipation of maybe a big change of character, wide range day through. So kind of the same idea as ALF, as we had made, had a large gap from all-time highs or near all-time highs, and have been making lower highs into this kind of obvious level that had been setting up. So coming to the 4-minute. I did not like my entry here. This was definitely a time where, I did not have a good entry. So what I was waiting for was actually this, and I wasn't paying attention when this happened. So, we open up, which is great. Open up, test up, just barely, and nothing happens. So then we start trading lower. I got alerted through the level. So what I wanted was a prior. This is that prior support level. So one of the prior support becomes resistance entry that I missed. So we started. Let me see. I'll just zoom out here. So basically, I missed my entry here, and what did I do is I chased. So so missing my entry is I just have to accept the fact that I missed the entry, and if I just wait a little bit, I get another chance to kind of have the same entry later. So what I was looking for was the prior support level becomes resistance. And I could have entered in here with a much lower risk idea than what I actually had to risk was like 50 cents up here. So, I didn't get as big in this setup as I wanted to. And, but once again, the big picture idea was there, and my entry was shitty. Kind of, I would call this the chasing, like, oh no, it's going down without me entry, especially because I missed this. There's like nice overlapping bars, like right at that resistance level, and that would have been a great place for that prior support becomes resistance entry. Also right here, maybe could have added on, lower highs going sideways at the low of the day, kind of compressing here at the end. So maybe put your stop there. Definitely flag here. So could have added there. Could have added here. Prior support becomes resistance. Added here. Just lower high, and then maybe you get stopped out adding this last time right here. I took profits at the end of the day because I knew that this, this like potential like over under level. So we had prior resistance here, become support here. So thought maybe potentially price could be supported there again. So I got out right there, which turned out to be pretty close to the low of the day. So yeah. So I mean, what was good about today? I had two winning trades, but because I aligned myself with the bigger picture idea. Okay, talking about other stuff. So V-Ray, obviously we went sideways until sideways for a year. Recently we've been in this is a healthcare. V-Ray is a penny stock, healthcare, and fuck, I forgot to mention that Alpha is a penny stock. So I'm not following the process 100% all the way. Still, so still. But that's why we're doing this, is so I can practice and be better. So I'm gonna fucking get it right. So V-Ray, penny stock, healthcare. We've been going sideways for the past year. Recently, volumes come in, have been kind of holding higher beneath 52-week highs and broke out to 52-week highs right here on the 20th. Volume's been way above average, kind of uptrending, and at this point we had a wide range day. Maybe the fourth close outside of Keltner. So we got not a naked gap Keltner, but definitely a gap up, go up right off the open. So where we opened up, tested up kind of like fuel. Are there any buyers like remaining up here? This would be the point with this little flag. If there were more buyers coming in, we should have seen price keep going and holding higher. We don't, and then we get a change of character through the cove area, and sort of thinking, okay, maybe this is where the buyers have run out of steam, especially after that wide range bar, kind of like the last gasp, as you talk about. So just putting a couple pieces of evidence together, and then we get lower highs, coming after this change of character below the cove area, and this nice compression here. So trend change, lower high, maybe short right in here in this compression. Even put your stop up here if you really wanted to, and that sets up a nice trade. CGIX, so penny stock, healthcare, just kind of like just really dull, just going sideways for like a year. Some volume started to come in the background, but recently, it's where the volumes really started to come in. So volume blasted up today, a couple days ago, pulled back, and then really took off again as price started heading back up to 52-week highs. So we wide range day and the highest volume. So intermediately that's what's been going on. Come down to the 1 minute chart. So we opened up, immediately slammed down. Huge change of character from the previous price action. Pull back, making lower highs intraday. So you could have shorted into this, really long sideways near the low of day after a change of character, after two lower highs, just kind of tightening up near the low of day, just maybe throwing a short in there with your stop above VWAP. And then you get this flush, probably sell into this windfall. And then, after this point though, like it's already gone down $1. I mean, and that's like 20% in a $5 stock. So I mean, that's a lot. So, maybe your expectations are muted, and definitely, that after we've gone down fucking 25%, within the first like 2 trading hours, probably think this move's a bit overdone, right? So maybe I'm looking to take profits here and not really add on to that anymore. Fuel, kind of just the same thought process. So advertising, penny stock, but in a sideways, but recently we've been in an uptrend after maybe 3-month base. You've been in a strong uptrend, but kind of going parabolic. As you very wisely alluded to in yesterday's video, what would we like to see? If the hedge funds are really selling this, trapping the last buyers in here, for one last push up. We don't get it. Change of character, lower highs, change of character through, green to red move, kind of holding lower. So this is a setup for me coming into tomorrow. Wednesdays historically are not my best trading days. I've got to wrap this up because I have to go to work. So Wednesdays are not my best trading days historically. So I'm going to be very cautious. So let me just wrap this up because I don't have time for much else. So NKTR, I'm thinking potential sushi roll. Biotech, healthcare, gapped up, all-time highs on volume, going sideways. Broke out yesterday on really relative weak volume. So if we trade back below this day's low, sushi roll. Last thing I want to talk about is where'd it go? So you talked about why I didn't have pulse because I'm a chicken shit. So healthcare going sideways for a year, making higher lows. No reason I shouldn't have had this on my watch list. So fuel definitely top on the list. OVAS have the alert set. So penny stock, biotech, long-term gap down going sideways. And volumes come in, so if we get above this 203 area, I know what it was. Okay, so excuse me, sorry for that. Quickly have to wrap it up. Momo tech, internet content. I was thinking maybe we've been in a long-term uptrend. Potentially this was like the exhaustion period. Kind of failed to go up recently at all-time highs, so maybe this potential head and shoulders. So we kind of try to break out of this quote shoulder area, close weekly in a narrow range day. It's not an inside day, it's a narrow range day, closing off, like doji also. So, my thoughts were if we get below this day's low, maybe we get there's a lot of room back to the other side of the channel, and there's a lot of weakness in the background. So at least a couple bucks in this range. That was the thought. Once again, Wednesdays are not my best days, so I'm not going to try to press something. Just if it zooms down to that level off the open, I'm probably not going to trade it. Kite, biotech once again, been going sideways for a year, kind of blast up on volume. Intermediately, we've been in an uptrend, going sideways at all-time highs. It kind of had this change of character day, so the intermediate term picture is kind of very murky. We've been pulling back on this. Near the midline, so I was thinking maybe an anti-setup on the daily. So anyway, that's all I got, dude. I'm going to upload this video, and I got to go to work. All right, later.